This is VTR Productions Limited, and to give you an idea of the type and versatility of our equipment, we know that pictures are worth so many words. From a camera on our mobile crane, here's a bird's eye view of our broadcast unit. Here you see 22.5 tons of equipment, cameras, control rooms, videotape, power, maintenance shop, everything required for production in or outside a studio. Come on inside and have a look. This is the heart of the mobile studio, the switching controls, as complete as any available in North America. Here's the tape machine, a full-size Ampex 1002 broadcast unit. This is one of 3 camera controls to balance the pictures. We have a full audio console with 12 inputs. And there's enough room for clients to relax during production. This is one of the very few broadcast mobiles in Canada that is completely self-contained. Cameras, tapes, sound, and self-powered. We use it extensively in our studio or on the road, in local areas in Montreal, Ottawa, Kingston, Hamilton, Boston, New York, Albany, Rochester, Buffalo, London, Detroit, and Chicago, just to name a few of the areas we visited in the past year and a half. In fact, we're quite proud of the fact that we made the first telecast from the Expo Autostad in the fall of 1966, a football game for the Montreal Beavers. And we have smaller mobile equipment too. This is our electric golf cart, which has been put to extensive use in the past 2 years. To give you an idea of the scope of our business and experience, here are a few of the productions we have been involved in during the past couple of years. The Bonnie Pruden Show was videotaped on location in Oakville. We produced 65 episodes.
You cover a lot of ground and you get your arms going. Now the breaststroke spreads out and stretches the pectorals as well as improves the bust line. But the legs go like a frog in a sharp, very sharp kick. This works the insides of the thighs. And now, the old one that my generation learned first, the side stroke. Except this time, as you bring the legs together, you really force it. First the right in front, then the right back. Then the right in front, then the right back.
Last year, we produced this special for the Salvation Army. This was video recorded at the Citadel on Bathurst Street and played nearly every TV station in Canada. Christmas at the Salvation Army. Here's an excerpt from one of 234 episodes of a daily drama series we produced in our studios for NBC.
Who is it?
Barbara Harris.
Unlock the door, Barbara. You came over here to see me, didn't you? Now that you're here, why don't you come out? Nancy? Get the car keys.
Where are they?
In my coat. You're being very silly, Barbara. Not at all grown up.
We doubt very much if this series needs any introduction. We have been involved with Mr. Pierre Burton for over 2 years and are enjoying every minute of it.
The man you're going to meet tonight was an infant prodigy. He was concertmaster of a symphony orchestra at the age of 12, and then in adult life he was a noted cartoonist. Now I wonder if you can guess his name. Well, how old were you when you first played with the symphony orchestra?
Well, when I was 12, I was the concertmaster of the symphony, and I was the concertmaster of the opera company. That's when I met Caruso, because he came to New York, to Havana, to inaugurate the National Theater. And that's how we met. And, you know, Caruso was a great cartoonist, you know. He was as great a cartoonist as he was a singer.
I just learned that when I was reading about you today in preparation for this
Yes, and that's how we became very friendly, because I loved cartoonists already at that time. So we started doing cartoons, and that's how he invited me to come to the United States. And
But tell me how happy a life an infant prodigy has. Is it a happy childhood that you had?
Well, yes, because you do what you really like, and what you really, you feel that you came to the world for. You know, if you come to think, people like Heifetz, who was touring the whole world, giving concerts when he was 8 and 9, he could have never done that if he had to go to school every day, you know.
You may not have realized it, but VTR Productions has been very active in sports.
Rolls out to the left, and now throws, and it is complete. He again splits left. Sternberg is split way out to the right side. And Bryce Taylor rolls right. Sternberg has it, and he could not hold his balance at the 8-yard line. We were right the first time. The ball is fumbled. Taylor recovers. Taylor pitches out to Sternberg, and it's a touchdown.
Our sponsor told us that this was the most dramatic live curling shot he'd ever seen. This is from a videotape of the Tournament of Champions, and we managed to capture the drama by mounting our camera on our electric golf cart. We've covered stock car races in New York State under the most adverse of weather conditions: rain, fog, bad lighting, and just about anything else you could think of. And we had 2 seasons of professional soccer in Toronto and in Hamilton. There were many more sports too, including one season when we covered 45 NHL games for theater closed circuit. That's more games than were covered by the CBC and CTV networks combined. And we picked up the Chevalot-Terrell fight from the Gardens in Toronto.
"30 seconds remaining in round 1. There's the bell ending round 1. I don't know if they heard it.
And we've produced those staples of TV, the commercials. We've made them for toothpaste, toffee, telegrams, and textiles, soup, soap, spaghetti, and skates, cigarettes, candy, cards, and cosmetics, footwear, fruit juice, furniture, and fashions, bread, beer, baby powder, and blankets, dog food, donuts, drugs, and drinks, cars, cameras, clothing, and cereals, appliances, animals, aspirins, and apple juice, cheese, 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 and cheese, Kraft, 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 and Kraft, over 600 Kraft commercials. And we've had our share of country and western shows: Star Route, 26 episodes, Leroy Van Dyke, another 26 episodes for the U.S. market. And this one that took us to half the universities in Ontario and Quebec. Let's sing out.
Walk me round the earth once more, there's so much I should see. I thought I saw a little girl who looked a lot like me. I'd like to help her through the years. Children grow so fast. I'd like to help her growing in before our time is past.
You may be wondering just how our experience, background, and equipment can be of service to those who may not be involved in television advertising or programming. Bear with us, and you will, we trust, begin to see a transition with some very exciting possibilities. For example, this is our new Dynamobile, a miniaturized mobile that is capable of handling a great many of the projects you have just seen, but on a considerably smaller budget. This has not replaced our larger unit, but is an addition to our existing equipment. We have scaled everything down for compact design and efficiency of operation. This is the control console with switcher, camera controls, and monitors. Next to the controls, we have our audio mixer, which incorporates up to 6 inputs. It is an exact duplication of the console in our large mobile. This is our new videotape recorder, a prototype designed to our specifications by Ampex of Canada. It's a 4-head quadruplex 2-inch videotape recorder, and not to be confused with the non-broadcast helical scan 1 or 2-inch recorders that are now available on the market at prices ranging from $3,000 to $10,000. After recording on this videotape, the tape can be removed and without change be played by any television station in North America. Incidentally, all components of this unit can be removed from the vehicle and operated on the actual location. Add to that the fact that the whole thing operates on 110 volts with 15 amps. Now we would like you to see a few of the projects we are involved in at the present time in our transition period, as we have termed it. To supplement a fashion show, which was seen live by the audience, we have used our cameras to dramatize the presentation and to point out detail. Monitors were placed around the salon, and viewers, even at the very back, had an excellent close-up view of the overall concept and intricate detail.
In the active social whirl of the season, so many invitations received read formal. This is where David Ray has come out with a fantastic collection, the latest look in ball gowns for that very special occasion on your social calendar. The first one in our collection, worn by Marianne, is a slim column of pure silk, the color of jade green. The look of the toga, which is the flyaway panels front and back, in checkerboard fashion, in a combination of unexpected color.
In our work with the Ontario Department of Education, we have found that our small unit can become much less distracting to students when we are called upon for classroom footage. The use of tape equipment here has been found to be much more practical than film, since the producers can immediately view the results and eliminate the necessity of a return visit to the school to reshoot a segment and to further distract from the daily routine of the students. We are currently involved in the production of a series of management training films. Each unit of the series consists of 2 20-minute films plus a leader's guide. They are sold as a package to business organizations to create discussion seminars for management training and information. So far, we have produced styles of leadership, awareness and creativity, motivation and work, and communicating. The principals of this project are Dr. John Sawatsky, Dr. Dan Kappen, and Mr. George Fells.
To another person.
Oh, it's much more than that, George.
Is it?
It's so much more than that that I don't really think that communication is possible, not in the fullest sense. Because people don't mean what they say don't say what they mean, and often they don't know what they mean by what they say. I mean, this makes the situation very tricky.
This is a part of a tape we were asked to produce for the Department of Transport on the subject of air traffic control. It became a part of the department's display at the Canadian Pavilion at Expo 67.
Air Canada 884, Montreal Center. Contact Toronto Center, frequency 123.9er.
Canada 884 on frequency.
Toronto weather 2,000 scattered, 3,000 scattered, high scattered condition, visibility 12 miles, temperature 182.12, wind 280 at 20, gusting to 28, be a back course approach, runway 32, Toronto altimeter 2966. Of course, we're continuing in the program idea development field. Here's one we've been working on and may complete one day, but our star has left town.
And now I think we'll go through once more and show you the player at a little faster clip. As you can see, he's a real good stick handler, this gentleman. All the way down here. I haven't seen too many who can control the puck and go at that speed, really.
Okay, Coach. I see that we've got the 5 players lined up now, so let's get the practice underway and see how the boys make out.
Fine, Phil. I'll go through the drill first of all to demonstrate to the boys. We'll start down here. We'll come to the first one and we'll say Jack, George, Tom, Peter, and Billy.
Of course, there's closed circuit. Although this is a tremendously successful business south of the border, Canadians are just beginning to see and understand its effectiveness and application in this country. In September 1967, we supplied facilities for the Conservative Leadership Convention. The year before, we were involved in one of the most extensive closed-circuit operations at the National Liberal Convention in Ottawa. For 3 successive years now, we have covered the annual conventions of the Society for the Preservation and Encouragement of Barbershop Quartet Singing in America. All 3 days of activity were fed to giant screen projectors for overflow audiences. The final day was recorded and reduced to a 1-hour program for distribution.
I don't blame you. No, I don't blame you, for I love mine. I love mine.
We would like to show you many more examples of our industrial and closed-circuit work, but unfortunately 2 things stand in our way. First, most of our closed-circuit operations are not recorded, and all of our industrials are reduced to 16mm film. In our closed-circuit operations, we have covered the topping-up ceremony of an apartment building. This involved the setting up of a single camera on the roof of the building to show the ceremonies, with picture and sound feed to model apartment suites, which were furnished and easily available to the assembled guests. Then we can talk about picture and sound feeds from one building to another. For example, a feed from the O'Keefe Center to the Royal York Hotel. Taking it a step further, we can go from city to city, such as the start of the Rapido service between Montreal and Toronto. Cameras were set up in each city with monitors. People in Montreal saw what was going on in Toronto and vice versa as dignitaries started the trains on their way. And as Marcia McLuhan might say, in visual communications, the medium is the message. A few moments ago, I mentioned that it was impossible to show too many examples of our industrial work since a lot of the tape material had been reduced to 16mm film. This process of producing 16mm film material from recorded videotape is one that is exclusive with VTR Productions Limited. Without going into all the technical ramifications, other than to say that we can and do make excellent film copies of videotape. The results, particularly in the industrial and business field, make it possible for us, in effect, to offer film production at a cost well below the normal rates. We can utilize the economy of videotape, multiple camera production, fast electronic editing, immediate approval of picture content, with just a few days set aside for the transfer to film process. Here's a short example of a sales presentation we produced for heavy construction equipment for $2,500. Another was a Ford truck sales training item. Our methods brought the whole thing in for $4,500 in just a week. Film production would have been $12,000 with 6 weeks delivery. On the other hand, we have been able to transfer a series of 35mm slides to videotape and then onto film. This can prove to be a very economical method of telling a company story or to dramatize somewhat more effectively than usual a new product or device. A short production of this type could cost as little as a few $100s. To take this project a step further, we would like to mention that we can now reduce this type of material down to 8mm sound film for a portable self-screen projector, a most effective idea as a sales assist. A salesman can walk into a prospective client's office and in just 30 seconds set up the projector and let the film tell the story. Our methods of production are being used to train new employees, salesmen, and mechanics. More and more people are inquiring about the feasibility of using this type of presentation for new policy statements from head office to branch offices. I could go on and give you examples of what we have done and what we can do. But the simplest thing for me to say is that if you have a communications problem, we would be happy to discuss it with you. We have, I trust, shown you a new dimension in business and training communications. This is a relatively unplowed field in Canada, but I can honestly say that our neighbors to the south are already harvesting a crop of advantages from its use from the standpoint of good, sound business economics, from operational efficiency, and from increased productivity. We at VTR Productions Limited have welcomed this opportunity to demonstrate and tell you just how the television industry is making its methods available to business and industry in so many ways. Closed-circuit television, meetings, employee training, product introduction, product demonstration, public relations stories, educational programs, and policy statements.